Good morning, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. Today we are talking about the new cohort. One of the things that I would like to do is to let you know what's going on with this. We finished our random assignment in October of 2017, and we have money left over. So Food and Nutrition Services said, spend it. So we are going to be doing this new cohort. And we are going to be sharing the invitation responsibilities between the community-based organizations and you guys with DHS. So today, I'm going to show you how to read your dashboard, what changes are coming up with the dashboard, about the invitations, and all of the information that you will need to know to complete this process. We do have new instructions that were just proofed yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not get the PDF made in time to get it uploaded. We will be posting that on the EPIC partner page, and I'm going to type that web address into the chat pod, because if you are not familiar with this, you need to be, because this has all of the resources that we have available for you to learn or do or keep up to date with. Okay, please check into the chat pod with your name and who's listening with you at your location. That is how we are tracking attendance for this webinar, and attendance is being tracked. We are going to start out with the review of the invitation for DHS. When you log into Illinois WorkNet, you land on this customers page. And for those of you with DHS who were inviting people before, we did have the invite tab. Now we have a new little button up here at the top that just says ABOD customer, and it takes us to a new invitation tool rather than the one that we had been using previously. Down here in the bottom, you will be able to invite customers who were initially invited for the control group but did not attend. That will be functioning. It may not be functioning until Tuesday. So we're going to be focusing on the new customers that you can invite. And we are scheduled to go live Monday, May 14th with this. So hopefully this is all working and up to speed. We've been testing feverishly all week this week. So to invite a new customer, you just click on this blue box. Now you're going to say, well, how does the customer know what program they want to participate in? We pulled in the page 3 tool from the public website, the Illinois EPIC, the IL EPIC website. So you will click on this piece right here that says View Available EPIC Training Programs and Providers. And it takes you to the screen where the customer can kind of get an idea of what programs are available. So you would pick the region where you are located. So perhaps it might be Franklin County, so we go down to Region 5. And then we see the number of programs that are available in that area. And we don't have any test programs available, so I'm going to switch back to Chicago, sorry. And behind each name of a industry category are the number of programs that are available. So we have manufacturing. They might be interested in transportation, distribution, and logistics. They might be interested in architecture and construction. Then you would want to find if there are any areas that might be of concern to them getting a job. The one example I use a lot is you would not want to send a customer who is legally blind to truck driving training. So you would mark these that would reduce the number of programs that they would have available to them, and then you enter your zip code. Then you get a listing of all of the programs that are available to that customer with some of the videos that we did about the basic programs. We have instructed the CBOs to make sure that their program offerings are sharing information about the program to make it enticing to the customers. They are supposed to be, they are able to include the name of their organization now because we are not doing random assignment. And they are able to add information about placement ratios, success ratios, all of that information that would make it enticing to a customer to participate in that program. So here we have the agency name, what programs are available. You can click on the training program here, and it pops up to the new screen. You can print this for the customer. We are going to be compiling a PDF that will be able to be printed and stored in your location so that you don't have to use the screen if you don't want to share your screen with the customers, although you could pull this up and print it for them. Then when they have selected the agency that they want to go to, then you can proceed with the invitation record. Now I'm going to invite a customer, and I think I'm going to use this customer, and we are entering a Social Security number. This is the only identifying number that will be used prior to the customer being enrolled in the program. They will have an Illinois workNet ID created for them, so we will be able to communicate by Illinois workNet ID so that we are not sharing any personal identifying information. The customer has to be 18 years old, so they cannot be invited if their birthday is tomorrow. They have to already be 18 years old. Then we have the line for their address. And we need to include their city. The state is automatically Illinois because they can't participate. Although you can select other states, they just can't participate if they are in any other state besides Illinois. And actually they can't participate if they are outside of the EPIC boundaries. Select the DHS office. Now, as DHS, you will only have access to your office that you have access to normally. The CBOs will be, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The CBOs will be inviting customers based on the office that the customer tells them. But you will be able to correct those offices if the customer told the CBO the wrong office. You will let the system know whether they are mandatory or voluntary. This customer is going to be mandatory. You can serve voluntary customers. They cannot be TANF recipients, cannot be TANF recipients, but they can have children as long as they're not receiving TANF. They can be one of the items that is listed in the exemption document for the 4538. So you can serve voluntary customers with this cohort. You can then select the organization. There is a list that we are preparing, we will be posting this today. A P in front of a person's name indicates that they are the primary customer contact for that agency. So then you would select their name, and then you will mark one of the eligibilities. We do need to not invite, if you're going to invite a customer, make sure that they are eligible, because the CBOs cannot check eligibility, so those you will have to determine one of those other eligibilities. So they can be verified eligible SNAP ABOD and not receiving TANF, or verified eligible SNAP ABOD and exempt. So we're going to save this. You have two options. You can save the customer, or you can save and invite the customer. I would suggest just going ahead with the invitation if you are doing that. So we're going to save and invite. You can review the information that you entered to make sure that you have the proper information in the list. You will be offered up some invitation orientation dates. Make sure that if there is a differentiation between the new cohort or a regular intake orientation, make sure that you're picking the new cohort intake orientations. Many agencies will not have a distinction, so you will just pick whatever is available. But if they do have new cohort listed somewhere, please pick one of those dates. Once you click invite, the information goes up above and fills in those blocks. Then you submit verification, send invite. You can then print the 2151. If the customer is there with you, you can give the 2151 to them. We are working to get the address information filled in and the contact information. There's a little blip in the programming that we have to get fixed. And then you are done with that customer. Once you are done with that customer, you can scroll back to the top of the page and add another ABOD customer, and it will give you a new blank screen. Do I have any questions about inviting a customer? Please type them in the chat pod if you do have a question. Now, the enrolled dashboard is changing a little bit. We have two new sections that are being added to the dashboard. We have customer eligibility verification. This section only applies to new cohort customers. In the system, you will see the red and yellow lines and some white ones down here along with these green ones. These yellow lines are what we will be tracking when a CBO submits an application. The application will show up in this first line right here. You have 48 hours to accept an initial application verification from a CBO. And it's real simple. We'll show you what's entailed in that. If you miss the 48 hours, the items move to the red line, and that is when we will be bugging you about it, I guess is a good word. Once you accept the verification, then you have 11 days to complete the eligibility verification. Part of that eligibility verification is the fact that you will need to complete the family assessment, the 4001 form, and that will need to be done for each customer. If there's already one complete, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. You can just use what's already there. I do not anticipate many customers landing in these two lines about appointment not scheduled, because the way the system works, there should be an appointment for each customer almost immediately. Then, once a customer has been verified, they will land in several lines below. They will land in one of these two, verified with appointment, either exempt or not exempt. They will also land in whether they are mandatory or voluntary. We are tracking this. This is for number purposes only. There is nothing that you can do or not do to make that different. It's just whether they are mandatory or voluntary. And then if they are not eligible, they are either verified not eligible, not in the EPIC area, which makes them not EPIC eligible, or they're not able to be verified. They will land in this bottom row. Additionally, they will go to the application not started row until the CBO has completed the application at their intake orientation. Then they will also show in the referral pending scheduled appointment row. So you can see there's 20 here. We have 21 here because somebody missed their application date. And then we have 21 in the mandatory plus voluntary, 21 in the verified eligible, and then one not able to be verified. So you can see that the numbers track. After this, everything is the same. So if they've got a pending 2151 that's past due, if they've got 2151s that they have to complete, situation worse, the whole dashboard remains the same after that. That's it for the dashboard. What I want to do now is I want to show you how you need to verify an eligibility request from a CBO. So we don't have any that are brand new. So what we would do is go to the ones that are past due. I have 7 customers in here that need to be verified. So I scroll down to my list, and I'm looking at the customers that need to be verified. I see a couple here. I click on the word View on the right-hand side. I'm going to verify Brandon. Again, you can check the programs, but at this point, the customer has already been invited from the agency. They know what program they're going to enroll the customer in once they get verified eligible, so you don't have to worry about the training programs. All you have to do is click this box. Click the box, verify the Social Security number, and then verify that the address is still the same, that this is the proper office. And if it's not the proper office, you will be able to select the proper office. That does not mean that you will have that customer. I'm sorry. The customer will then be transferred to the proper office down the road. So here you would just check to make sure that they are at the right office. You have to verify whether they are mandatory or voluntary. The agency does not see this mandatory or voluntary. And then the agency will be locked down. You will not be able to change the agency. If a customer comes to you and indicates that they do want to change agencies, that will need to be forwarded to Deidre Wesley and her team, or to myself and Olivia Miller. The CBO contact should be locked in there. If it's not, just refer to your list. And then you will need to verify eligibility. We have one more option that is coming in that's called not EPIC eligible, which means that they have moved out of the EPIC program boundaries. So, for example, they moved to Lake County, north of Cook County, or maybe they moved to DuPage County, which is west of Cook County, or maybe they moved to Sangamon County, which is not part of the study. And then you would say not able to verify, which means you have to complete the family assessment, or there's another piece that needs to be verified. When we go to the not able to verify, you would save the customer what the eligibility reason might be. If they are verified ineligible, you will have to add a reason why they are ineligible. If you select verified TANF, you will have to put a reason in there. If they are verified as SNAP ABOD or ABOD with exemption, then you don't have to put a reason in. Then you can save the customer if you need to verify, or you can save and invite the customer. Now this is going to change. You will not change any dates, but it will ask you to submit verification. I have to add a date right now for this. It's giving me an error code. Let me close out of this. I'm going to invite just so that we can get this in here. Submit verification, and then you can print the 2151. If they happen to be in your office to complete the family assessment, that is when you would give them the 2151. Now, we've talked about the CBOs. The CBOs will need to have a valid phone number in here. They are instructing the customers that they need to listen for their phones and answer the phone when it's the DHS office is calling so that they can verify the family assessment. It can be done over the phone. If you cannot reach the customer, then you will need to mail them a 267 or a call to come to the office so that the family assessment can be completed. All right, so that's it for the verification of the referral. What kind of questions do you have about any of this process? If you do have questions down the road, I just put my email address in there so that you could send an email, and then you can also contact Deidre Wesley from DHS to help you with that side of things. The CBO application is just the same as yours, with the exception of they do not see the mandatory voluntary, and they can only request ABOD SNAP eligibility. That's the major differences between your invitation and the CBO invitation. By the way, if you did not put who is listening with you on the call, you do need to type that into the chat pod because we are tracking attendance for these calls. Time frame for the process, we will begin Monday, May 14th. Is that enough of what you wanted, Mid-South? I'm not sure if it's Ben or if it's somebody else. I'm waiting to see what Mid-South is typing here. The estimated time for the referral process, CBOs have been ready to go for a month and a half now, so you will be getting a lot of referral requests coming in beginning Monday. And you have 2 days to accept the referral. That is by checking the box at the top, verifying the Social Security number, filling in anything that is mandatory that is missing, and then saving the customer. Then you have 11 days to complete the eligibility verification. If you can do it all in one day, like if you can reach the customer by phone and get that family assessment done, you can get that done that quickly. Obviously, if you miss your deadlines, they will show up in the red row, and we will be making phone calls and finding out why these things are not being done. We want to turn this around. We have a very short time frame. We only have through January to get customers trained and through February to get them employed. And the grant ends March of 2019. So we've got to get this on everybody's radar to get them moving rapidly. So who's there with you listening from Mid-South? Please type that into the chat pod. And then Mary checked in. Where is Mary from? Suzanne and Nora both did, checked in. I got T. McMath. Where are you? Who's listening with you? We've got T. Washington. Okay, I got Tiffany's. Tamla Crump. You're checked in. Where are you from? I need names, Mid-South. I need names of who's there. Thomas checked in. Tracy Emmerich checked in. Bernicia and Vicki, I need you to type in. All right. All right. And, okay, so do we have any other questions? And Ben, did I answer your time frame appropriately? Did you get enough information there? And then we have the handout will be updated on the EPIC partner page. As soon as I get off of this call, I'm going to finish up making a PDF and getting that uploaded. As always, you can send me an email or Deidre, or you can contact EPIC at illinoisworknet.com. We'll get those questions answered. We will be available on the phone. Try my home office phone number first on Monday if you're having a problem, and then try the cell phone number second. So we'll put that number in the chat pod there for you. And this is cell. All righty. Well, good luck, everybody. I hope that this is successful and we get a lot of great customers. We do want to make sure that we are doing some initial screening so that we are making good referrals, or referrals that we hope will be successful in coming off of the public rolls. This is a whole lot different than the random assignment process, and we should be able to move forward with this quickly. For the customer, I believe we're going to do calls like we did initially for the EPIC random assignment. And Deidre will be talking to you more about that. I would suggest that you tell the customer to plan like an hour and a half at least, because the invitation process isn't that long. It's just a matter of how many people will actually want to participate. So they need to be able to be there an hour, hour and a half at least, I would say. All right. Any other questions? All right. And we will post this recording, and we'll have the new handout uploaded within an hour. So have a great rest of your day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers and mothers of the heart out there with us on the call, and have a super fabulous new cohort